The last words, a parrot's unbreakable bond, background music, eerie, suspenseful tones, soft, rustling leaves, distant thunder. It started with a single word. Help. Help, help. Michael froze. The hairs on his arms stood on end. Rio sat in his cage, his emerald green feathers sleek under the dim light. His pet parrot, his head tilted slightly, his beady black eyes locked onto Michael. Help, Rio repeated, softer this time, almost like a whisper. A shiver crawled down Michael's spine. Rio had an extensive vocabulary. He mimicked everything from TV rhymes to Michael's own phrases, but never this. Never a request for help. Michael laughed nervously. Where'd you learn that, buddy? Rio just stared. Michael just ignored it, figuring Rio must have picked it up from TV. But that night, the parrot's words replayed in his mind like a broken record. The next morning, Rio's behavior grew even stranger. He refused to eat. He didn't chirp his usual morning greeting. Instead, he sat on his perch, ruffling his feathers in anxiety. Then, as Michael reached to refill Rio's water and food bowl, the bird flapped wildly, screeching, "Run! Danger! Help! Run, danger!" Help! Michael jerked back, nearly knocking over the cage. His heart started beating so fast. Something was very wrong. Cut to black, heartbeat sound effect, slow fade to next scene. Shadows of the past, soft, mysterious music, echoing footsteps, distant whispers. Narrator. Michael had always trusted Rio and loved his only pet. After his parents died in a tragic car accident when he was 10-year-old, Rio had been his only constant, a living memory of home, of comfort. When Michael's uncle Greg stepped in as his guardian, Rio had been alert from the start. At first, Michael thought nothing of it. Birds could be unpredictable. But looking back, Rio don't likes Greg. And lately, Rio's warnings became more chilling. Don't trust him. Don't trust him, lies. Lies. Michael tried to shift his focus on that things, but doubt clawed at him. Could a parrot actually sense danger? Is something wrong? One evening as Greg watched TV, Michael noticed Rio glaring at him, unblinking still. The bird's claws gripped the perch tightly. I saw! Michael's stomach twisted. Saw what, Rio? He whispered, voice barely audible. Rio flapped once, then uttered something that sent ice through Michael's veins. No accident. It was him. Close-up shot of Michael's trembling fingers pressing pause on the recorder, cracking the code. Tense, investigative music, typing sounds, paper rustling, muffled breathing. Michael couldn't ignore it anymore. He had to find answers. He started finding old police reports, insurance claims, anything he could find about his parents' deaths. The official report stated it was a brake failure, an accident. But something didn't add up. Greg had inherited everything. Their house, their money, their business. Then Michael thought that something wrong was happened. Then Michael found it, buried in legal paperwork. A missing insurance document, signed 2 days before the crash, making Greg the sole beneficiary. Michael's hands shook as he pieced it together. The doubts, the money, Rio's words. It wasn't an accident, it was murder. Distant thunder rumbles, slow zoom on Michael's shocked face. He needed proof. And Rio might be the key. Cut to black, heartbeat sound effect, Rio's voice echoing, I saw. The deadly truth. Dark, suspenseful tones, clock ticking, a faint creaking door. That night, Michael swore up to Greg. "Why did Rio say it wasn't an accident?" he demanded. Greg froze. Then he laughed, a cold, hollow sound. "You're letting a damn bird mess with your head, kid." But his eyes, they betrayed him. Michael pressed play on the recorder. No accident. It was him. Greg's smile disappeared. His face paled. "Where did you get that?" His voice dropped to a whisper. Rio suddenly flapped wildly in his cage, screeching in distress. Michael took a step back. His uncle wasn't just surprised. He was scared. Then, Greg lunged. Loud crash. Glass shattering. Michael barely dodged as Greg grabbed him, shoving him against the wall. "That stupid bird saw too much," Greg snarled, his grip tightening. Rio went ballistic, flapping, clawing, shrieking, fighting for Michael. Greg swatted at him, but Rio was too fast. His sharp beak latched onto Greg's ear. Greg howled in pain. Michael broke free and ran, but Greg wasn't done yet. Dramatic chase scene, heavy breathing, running footsteps, fade to black. Echoes of justice, fast-paced music, police sirens wailing, heavy rain falling. Michael sprinted through the house, Rio flapping beside him. He grabbed his phone, dialing 911 with shaking hands. "Help! My uncle, he..." Then, bang! A gunshot. Michael ducked, his heart hammering. Greg had a gun. The bullet missed, but it was enough. Michael bolted for the back door, throwing it open just as headlights flashed through the rain. The police arrived. Greg was cornered, caught. As the officers restrained him, he spat toward Michael. "You would have never known," he seethed. "You would have never figured it out if it weren't for that damn bird." Michael turned to Rio, perched on his shoulder, his feathers damp, but his eyes sharp. Rio tilted his head. Then, in a slow, deliberate voice, he said, "Goodbye, Greg." Greg's face twisted in horror. Michael smiled. Justice had spoken. Soft, uplifting music. Fade to black. Rio's final words echo. "Good boy, Michael. Good boy." The moral: animals know the truth. Soft, uplifting music. They say animals can sense things we can't. They know who to trust, who to fear. They understand love, loyalty, and even justice. Rio wasn't just a pet. He was a guardian, a witness, a friend. Michael's life was saved because he listened. So, next time your pet acts strangely, pay attention. They might be trying to tell you something. Fade to black, final echo of Rio's voice. "Good boy, Michael. Good boy."